Hey guys, welcome back to how to modify your Juke or MR16DDT. Today we're going to be talking about a topic that's relatively straightforward but needs to be discussed, and that would be total turbo back exhaust systems and what you need to actually make power and torque on this engine. Now, as I talked about in the efficiency video of this series, the factory downpipe is just garbage. It's very restrictive. The catalytic converter is very tightly compact, so it restricts flow a ton, which kills your torque numbers, which kills the amount of spool that you can get out of your turbo. Right off the bat, if you're on a factory turbo or a Mamba turbo, some of you probably are, you're not going to need anything much bigger than a 2.5-inch exhaust. That includes your downpipe, that includes your second cat delete, and your cat back. The turbos, I should say, just aren't big enough to produce any top-end power that would require a 3-inch exhaust system, which isn't always a bad thing. 2.5-inch exhaust systems tend to be a little less drony because the diameter isn't so big, so that's always good. Most of you will be buying pre-made downpipes, which don't come much bigger than 2.5 inches anyway, and your flow in your exhaust is only as good as the smallest passage in the exhaust. So if your downpipe is 2.5 inches and your second cat delete back is 3 inches, well, guess what? You can still only flow enough for that 2.5-inch pipe coming off your turbo. It's going to have less back pressure because of the larger piping towards the back, but as far as total diameter and the amount of air that can flow through that diameter, the smallest point in your exhaust is going to be the amount of flow that you can get. You can put a restriction at the back of the exhaust. Say you put a muffler on those old N1 style exhaust systems. Then your biggest opening is, let's say, 1.25 inches. That means that total exhaust system, once it gets a good amount of air flowing through it, the most air can flow is through that one hole. So it's always good to have a fully open exhaust on these turbo cars, but for most of you, a 2.5-inch exhaust is really all you need. There's only a couple of brands of aftermarket exhausts out there, and really that all comes down to what you prefer as far as sound goes, whether it be InGen, 2J Racing, MagnaFlow, or any other company that's making a catback for the car. As long as the piping diameter is bigger than factory or is up to 2.5 inches, and as long as the mufflers are straight through, you're going to get basically the same exhaust flow from them. These small engine, small horsepower cars, the routing of the exhaust and the exact way the exhausts are bent isn't going to make a huge difference. But again, mandrel bent is always better. So if you go to an exhaust shop to get a custom exhaust made and you see them using a crush style bender, or you see them using a kink style bender where you get those ripples like you see in the AutoZone pipes, you don't want that. You want it as smooth as possible. Obviously, the smoother the pipe, the less restriction there's going to be, the smoother the airflow is going to be, and therefore the higher the velocity of the air escaping the car. High flow cats. I have run high flow cat on my personal Juke. That's the budget big turbo Juke. I still need to go get that tuned. But it's not going to have any problem making 250 horsepower, and it still has a catalytic converter in it, because we do breathe the air that comes out of these exhausts. And if you're not going for crazy horsepower numbers or big turbos, then a high flow cat's not going to hurt you. You might lose like 3% of your efficiency, and on these small little engines, that's not a whole lot. You're not trying to break horsepower records, you're just trying to modify the car so that it's safe, so that it lasts, and so it makes some decent power. So really, that's all there is to say on the exhaust part of the MR16DDT. We can talk about turbo manifolds, but I'm going to cover that when we talk about the actual turbochargers itself. The factory turbo manifold flows really great. It doesn't really need to be replaced unless you're getting into the really high horsepower numbers, and at that point, you're replacing the manifold anyway so that you can put a bigger turbo on the car. So it doesn't really make much of a difference. So let me know what you guys are running for exhaust setups. I am curious as to see who's running what. Also, let me know if you have a CVT when you're doing that, and if you have power numbers. Awesome. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that little bell icon so you get a little notification whenever we upload. Have a great day.